Hello students, I welcome you all to the course Wireless and Mobile Networks. Myself, Kalyani Pawar, lecturer in Department of Information Technology, would like to introduce you to the new topic today, that is Wi-Fi. So let us understand about these Wi-Fi concepts. In the figure you can see how Wi-Fi helps us in our day-to-day life. We use Wi-Fi in various applications used to connect to various devices. We create Wi-Fi hotspot as per our need. Wireless technology is an alternative to the wired technology, which is commonly used for connecting devices in wireless mode. And Wi-Fi network connects computers to each other, to the internet, and to the wired network. One significant advantage of Wi-Fi over WiMAX and 3G is its wide availability of terminal devices. A vast majority of laptops shipped today have a built-in Wi-Fi interface. Wi-Fi interfaces are now also being built into a variety of devices including PDAs, that is personal data assistants, cordless phones, cellular phones, cameras and media players. The channel bandwidth Wi-Fi standards define a fixed channel bandwidth of 25 MHz for 802.11b and 20 MHz for either 802.11a or G networks. The main purpose of Wi-Fi are as follows. It makes access to the information easier. It eliminates cabling and wiring. It eliminates switches, adapters, plugs, pins and connectors. Now let us understand the working concepts of Wi-Fi. So first we have the radio signals. The radio signals are the key which make the Wi-Fi networking possible. These radio signals are transmitted from the Wi-Fi antennas are picked by Wi-Fi receivers such as computers and cell phones that are equipped with the Wi-Fi cards. Whenever a computer receives any of the signals within the range of the Wi-Fi network, which is usually 300 to 500 feet for the antennas, the Wi-Fi card reads the signal and thus creates an internet connection between the user and the network without the use of a cord. Access points, which are consisting of antennas and routers, are the main source that transmit and receive the radio signals. Antennas work stronger and have a longer radio transmission with a radius of 300 to 500 feet, which are used in the public areas, while the weaker yet effective router is more suitable for homes with a radio transmission of 100 to 150 feet. Wi-Fi cards. Wi-Fi cards are invisible cords that connect your computer to the antenna for a direct connection to the internet. Wi-Fi cards can be internal or external. If a Wi-Fi card is not installed into your machine, then you may purchase a USB antenna attachment or have it externally connected to a USB port, or you can have an antenna equipped expansion card installed directly to the computer. For laptops, this card will be a PCM-CIA card which you insert to the PCM-CIA slot on the laptop. Next, we'll see about the Wi-Fi hotspots. A Wi-Fi hotspot is created by installing an access point to an internet connection. The access point transmits a wireless signal over a short distance, that is, it typically covers around 300 feet. When a Wi-Fi enabled device such as a pocket PC encounters a hotspot, the device can then connect to that network wirelessly. Most hotspots are located in the places that are readily accessible to the public areas such as airports, coffee shops, hotels, bookstores, and campus environments. So we all know about these Wi-Fi hotspots and we are using these Wi-Fi hotspots in our day-to-day life. That is 802.B is the most common specification for hotspots worldwide. So students, please keep this thing in your mind that 802.11b is a Wi-Fi standard which we generally use for creating the Wi-Fi hotspot. Next is the Wi-Fi IEEE standard. The 802.11 standard is defined through several specifications of WLAN. It defines an over-the-air interface between a wireless client and a base station or between the two clients. So there are several specifications in the 802.11 family. Let us start with the first one, that is basic, that is 802.11. So this specification of this standard is it provides up to 1 to 2 Mbps transmission in the 2.4 gigahertz band using either FHSS or DSS, that is frequency hopping spread spectrum technique or direct sequence spread spectrum technique. 802.11a is an extension to 802.11a which provides a speed of up to 54 Mbps in the 5 GHz band, and it uses OFDM technique, that is orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. 802.11b, it is a high rate Wi-Fi. It is an extension to 802.11 that pertains to wireless LANs, and it provides a data rate of 5.52 and 1 Mbps depending on the strength rate of the signal in the 2.5 gigahertz band, and it uses DSSS technology. Next is 802.11g. It provides a 20 plus Mbps speed in the 2.4 gigahertz band. Next is a Wi-Fi security. As we all know, security is one of the major deficiencies in Wi-Fi. Though better encryption schemes or systems are now becoming available, encryption is optional in Wi-Fi, and two different techniques have been defined over here. First is the wired equivalent privacy (WEP). Over here, an RC4 based 40 or 104-bit encryption with a static key is used for security purpose. Wi-Fi protected access (WPA). This is a new standard from the Wi-Fi Alliance that uses the 40 or 104-bit WEP key, but it changes the key on each packet. The changing key functionality is also known as Temporal Key Integrity Protocol (TKIP). Second is IEEE 802.11i WPA2. The IEEE is finalized the 802.11i standard, which is based on a far more robust encryption technique called as Advanced Encryption Standard. The Wi-Fi Alliance designate products that comply with the 802.11i standard as a WPA2. However, implementing 802.11i requires a hardware upgrade. So this IEEE 802.11i is specifically designed by this IEEE as an advanced encryption standard for Wi-Fi security, and for using this it requires a hardware upgrade in our system. Next, now let us see what are the major Wi-Fi issues. There are security problems, then compatibility and interoperability problems, billing issues are there, then Wi-Fi summary. Wi-Fi is a freedom, and to access the Wi-Fi we need the Wi-Fi enabled devices, that is laptops or PDS. So now let us see this one by one. First is a security problem. Security concerns have held back Wi-Fi adoption in the corporate world. Hackers and security consultants have demonstrated how easy it can be to crack current security technology known as a wired encryption or wire equivalent privacy (WEP) used in most of the Wi-Fi connections. A hacker can break into a Wi-Fi network using readily available materials and software. Second is the compatibility and interoperability. One of the major problems with Wi-Fi is its compatibility and interoperability. For example, 802.11a products are not compatible with 802.11b products. Due to the different operating frequencies, 802.11a hotspot would not help an 802.11b client. Due to the lack of standardization and certification, different vendors come out with products that do not work with each other. Billing issues. Wi-Fi vendors are also looking for the ways to solve the problem of backend integration and billing. Wi-Fi summary. As Wi-Fi is a universal wireless networking technology that utilizes radio frequencies to transfer the data, Wi-Fi allows high-speed internet connections without the use of cables. The Wi-Fi Alliance claims rights in its use as a certification mark for equipment certified to 802.11x standards. Next is a Wi-Fi freedom. Freedom from wires. It allows us to connect to the internet from just about anywhere, a coffee shop, a hotel room, or a conference room at work. It is 10 times faster than a regular dial-up connection. Next, last is to access a Wi-Fi, we need Wi-Fi enabled devices like laptops or PDS. These devices can send and receive data wirelessly in any location equipped with wireless access. Figure shows the Wi-Fi technology concept. Over here we can see there is a wireless router which is used to connect to a wired desktop. At the same time, with the help of Wi-Fi, it can be connected to a wireless desktop and a cable or a modem and a wireless laptop as well. Next, we will study the comparison of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So over here we can see the parameters of comparison are frequency, bandwidth, primary devices, range, standard and bitrate. In Bluetooth, the frequency operation is in 2.4 GHz, while in Wi-Fi it is 2.4 and 5 GHz. Bandwidth is low in Bluetooth, where it is high in Wi-Fi. The primary devices used are mobile phones, mouse, keyboards, office and industrial automation devices, while in Wi-Fi we have notebook, computers, desktop, computers, servers, TV, latest mobiles. The range for Bluetooth is 1 to 10 meters, while the range for Wi-Fi is 1 to 100 meters. Next, Bluetooth is defined as IEEE 802.15, while Wi-Fi is defined as IEEE 802.11 standard. The bit rate of Bluetooth is 2.1 Mbps, while the bit rate of Wi-Fi is 600 Mbps. Next, we'll see the Wi-Fi applications. Wi-Fi can be used in home, small businesses, large corporations and campuses, healthcare, and travelers. While traveling also, we can use Wi-Fi. Next is a Wi-Fi security. We all know that to make the Wi-Fi secure, there is always a password required to connect with network. So users can't access to the internet until the given password is correct. What are the advantages of Wi-Fi? It is easy to install, flexibility, cost, and reliable. Next is the limitations or disadvantages. Low speed, it has extra power consumption, it has a limited range, it requires configuration of hardware and software. Thank you, students. In case of any queries, you can mail me at kalyani.vaidya@opt.edu.in. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy.